Night, history was made. On this night, we commemorated the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. On this night, we crowned a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Also, the tradition of the Survivor Series with the traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Hello, friends, and welcome to the 29th annual WWE Survivor Series recap here, this special edition of the Wrestling Forum. I am ridiculously over Anthony Florio, sitting in tonight for the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, because Michael Fletcher normally hosts this show. He normally hosts our pay-per-view recaps. If you didn't read my Facebook status earlier on, due to work commitments beyond his control, Fletcher will not be joining us here tonight. However, tomorrow night, Michael Fletcher will be hosting the Wrestling Forum. I'll still be here, but Fletch will assume the hosting duties, as he wants to make sure he gets at least one hosting gig a month. And I agreed to it, so more on that later. But with all that said, we are here, we are now, and it's time now to get down to the serious business. Like I said, I'm ridiculously over Anthony Florio. I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime and in the Yes movement here, the Rhode Island chapter of it, the one and only Phenom, Michael Bullock, and our very special guest tonight, joining us, the Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson. So great to have you here with us as well. So, yes, what a night this is going to be. The 29th annual Survivor Series event was live from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Normally, Michael Fletcher always had a decree about not doing pre-show matches, but I think this is one time we need to make an exception, because of the fact that this pre-show match happened to be my favorite, the traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup. On one team, you had Stardust, The Ascension, The Miz, and Bo Dallas going up against Adrian Neville, those damn Dudleys, Titus O'Neil of the Primetime Players, and the surprising return of Goldust. Yes, Goldust is back. When all was said and done, though, Goldust eliminates Victor 5-on-4 for the Goldust team. Bubba Ray Dudley eliminates Ascension member Connor 5-on-3. And then Adrian Neville was eliminated by The Miz via a skull-crushing finale 4-on-3. Miz gets cocky and gets arrogant and celebrates. He gets rolled up by Goldust. Miz is out 4-against-2. And then Bo Dallas eliminated by Titus O'Neil with the Clash of the Titus. And then Stardust eliminated via a 3D from the Dudleys. And at the end of this one, the sole survivors in this one, the Dudley Boys, Goldust, and Titus O'Neil, all but Adrian Neville, the survivors of this match. I do not have a time of the fall here, so... And we're also going to do things a little bit differently tonight as well. Normally I lead off, everybody knows it, but because I want to set up I want to make sure there's a certain match that Michael Bullock leads off on, I'm going to have him lead off on this match. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this bonus, if you will, traditional Survivor Series elimination match, Team Goldust against Team Stardust in a way.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony, ridiculously over Anthony Florio. Yes, this is the Phenom, Mike Bullock here for our Survivor Series recap edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always, and good to have the Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson, here with us tonight. Yeah, so it's definitely good to see you here, Dee, without a shadow of a doubt. And yeah, and as far as this opening match, well, the pre-show match with the traditional Survivor Series elimination match, I thought it was a fine match for what it was. I mean, it really wasn't anything special. I'll say that. I'll say probably. I'll go somewhere between maybe 2 to maybe 2.5, if I'm going to be quite honest here. And yes, welcome back, Goldust, aka Dustin Reynolds. Uh, yeah, or Dustin Rhodes, I should say. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him back and to see the look on Stardust's face when his music hit. I mean, it was priceless. And I mean, like I said, the action I thought was good for what it was, especially when you had the high flyer Neville out there. So, and he was the only one that was eliminated on the team, but everybody else survived, and so yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fine match, 2 to 2.5 stars. To me, if that's the correct rating, I don't know how Florio feels about it. So with that being said, now I'm just going to toss it up to him for his thoughts on this, tr the first of two traditional Survivor Series elimination matches.
I thought this was a very good match, Bullock, and I'm going to go a little higher on your rating. I thought you wanted to score it a bit. I'm
Yeah,
actually going to give
I
it.
wasn't quite sure. I mean, it's tough to rate matches like this.
I know it is, but I got the perfect rating for this one. 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating for this because there was some very good action in this match. I mean, there was because I thought there was some great action throughout, and some good spots in this one, and we finally got that brother matchup we've been waiting for. I mean, how long have we been waiting to see a Dustin Cody matchup here? I mean, we've been begging for this one. We've been wanting to see it at WrestleMania a few times, but we finally get it here tonight as part of a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. You can't have Survivor Series without it. I mean, that's why. And, you know, good action throughout, and very surprised we had a decisive win here. I mean, all but one member of the Goldust team survives here. I mean, you got to feel for Adrian Neville. I mean, I wish we could have had a whole team there survive, but no. Goldust, the Dudleys, Titus O'Neil. I mean, Titus looked impressive, I thought, throughout the match. I mean, Goldust, he still has it at 46 years of age. I mean, Goldust is still doing things at a high level. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen him in action, and I tell you what, I mean, this was, like I said, a very good, um, and it was definitely a great way to get the crowd in Atlanta, um, get them going get the crowd at the Phillips Arena pumped up for this, for this one big event of the year. And could it have been better? Sure, but at the end, though, I thought it was a fine and very good match for what it was. So solid. I think I think I'm gonna keep it at a solid 2.5 stars. It was teetering on 3, but I think solid 2.5 is the best we can go on this one. All right, now we go to the main show, the main card of Survivor Series, and what a way to start it off. We started it off with both semifinal matches in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. First semifinal match, we had the United States Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio, accompanied by Zeb Coulter, going up against Roman Reigns. And the winner of the match, in 14 minutes and 10 seconds, to the surprise of no one, it was Roman Reigns via the spear. 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, that's right. I actually take this one. So, yeah. Great match. I mean, this was a very, very good match. I could honestly go as far as to say this was the fight of the night, if I can be honest with you. I mean, because this was a very, very good match. 3.25 to 3.5 stars is my rating for this. I mean, great action throughout, some very good near falls. Outcome was not in doubt, but another solid match for Alberto Del Rio in Survivor Series. I mean, I talked about Del Rio's match history in the Survivor Series. Those couple of traditional Survivor Series matches he was in 2010 and 12. And then the match he had with Punk in 2011 where he lost the title and Punk's epic reign began in the Garden. And then the match with Cena 2 years ago for the World Heavyweight title. I mean, those are all good matches, but I'm not at all surprised that Del Rio got a more than passable match out of Roman Reigns. I mean, yeah, like I said, some great near falls throughout. I mean, there were some chances some people at times people thought, oh wow, Del Rio actually has a shot at this, but no. We all knew Roman was going to win it, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, he went for that Warrior's Way move. He missed it, and Roman gets him with the spear, and that was it. That was all she wrote. So it's a 3.25 to 3.5 star match, and I can honestly go as far as to say this was the fight of the night for me. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, Roman Reigns, Alberto Del Rio, the first semifinal match in the championship tournament. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, this was the fight of the night. I'll say 3.5 stars is my rating for the match. I mean, I thought this was very well match here between these two, and yeah, I mean, there were times. I mean, I was thinking like maybe Alberto Del Rio was going to pull off the upset, especially when he hit that new finishing maneuver of his that he does. Yeah, but no, somehow Roman Reigns kicked out, and then of course Del Rio he actually called for his old finishing maneuver, well, his submission maneuver, the cross arm breaker. It looked like he was going to do it. Roman Reigns countered it and hit the spear, and it's a win for him. And now he moves on to the finals of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. So yeah, so very well match. I mean, good job by both men. So 3.5 stars, fight of the night. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to the next semifinal match in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament.
And before I do that, before I give you my thoughts, Bullock, at the when we do our overall review, Didi Woodson, I want to get your thoughts on this event when we do our overall review, because I want to. There's a certain I arranged the docket to reflect on a certain match for Michael Bullock to lead off on. I think you know which one I'm talking about. So but I want to make sure. What's that?
Oh, and Florio, I mean, I was like going to ask Didi Woodson that question about the match that I'm going to lead off on.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, if you don't mind if I do ask her that.
Not at all. Not at all. This is our show, man.
Yeah.
We're all equals here. So that's all there is to say on that. So when we get to that match, but don't worry, Didi Woodson, you're going to get your chance to have your say on this. I'm going to make sure of that. So with all that said, moving on to my thoughts on, well, actually the next match, rather, the other semifinal match in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. We had the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, going one-on-one with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Kevin Owens. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 20 seconds via the Dirty Deeds. It was the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this second semifinal, Dean Ambrose against Kevin Owens. Now, you said going into this, you said that this was going to be the fight of the night. Not really, not quite, was it?
Yeah, not quite. And what did you say? What the time of the fall was?
11 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I thought this was another solid. I mean, a solid match. Definitely not the fight of the night. I'll give it somewhere between 3 to maybe 3.25 stars. I mean, it was still a real good match between these two. I mean, yeah, there was a little smash mouth action between these two. I mean, there were times. I mean, Kevin Owens with the way he was in this match, I thought for sure he was going to go over, but you knew Dean Ambrose was going to go over on Kevin Owens, even though there were some in the IWC who wanted to see Kevin Owens go over. But all in all, great job by both of these men. So Dean Ambrose moves on to the finals to take on his quote-unquote brother, Roman Reigns. Who's going to come out on top as the champ? We'll let you know. 3 to 3.25 stars is my rating. So even though I'm leaning more towards 3, so Florio, I give it to you.
Solid 3-star match. I mean, it's another one of the top fights of the night, most definitely. I mean, I could see why Bullock thought this was going to be the fight of the night. I mean, because we all know the body of work of these two, and we thought we could get an easily good match here. I mean, it was a very good match. Don't get me wrong, but it was just the only thing that was a little disappointing was it got a lot less time than I initially thought. I thought we were going to get at least a good 15, 20 minutes here. We
Yeah,
only got 11
that's what I
minutes
was
to take.
thinking too. That's why I was thinking too, Florio. I mean, I was thinking that's why I was thinking this was going to be the fight of the night because it was going to get a pretty good amount of time.
Definitely, and it's also because of their bodies of work, most definitely. But and of course we all know Kevin Owens. We all know what he's capable of. I mean, those not one, not two, but three 5-star classics with John Cena. Earlier this year. Late spring and into the summer. I mean, those matches, all three of those matches were 5 stars and beyond in Shakespearean drama. But it was a very good match, though. It was still a very good semifinal bout. I thought the Reigns and Del Rio fight was just a smidge better, honestly. But this match delivered. I mean, it served its purpose, and it did what it was supposed to do. So good match here, good action throughout, but could have been better. But solid 3 stars for the effort. So that's all there is to say on that. So we're just going to move on to our next match. Another traditional Survivor Series elimination match, much to my delight. Yes, sir. You can never, ever have a Survivor Series event without at least one traditional Survivor Series elimination match, let alone 2. So let's run down the teams for this one. On the face side, you had the big guy, Ryback. It was Ryback time. Feed me more. Along with the Lucha Dragons, Kalisto and Sin Cara, and Jimmy and Jey Uso, the Usos. That was one team. On the heel side, you had all 3 members of the New Day, the tag team champions, Kofi Kingston, Biggie Langston, Xavier Woods, the King of the Ring, King Barrett, and Mr. Money in the Bank, Sheamus. And we're going to have a lot more to say about that guy in a little bit. Trust me. Oh, trust me, we will. So let's break it down. Sin Cara eliminates King Barrett. Jimmy Uso eliminated by Xavier Woods. Sin Cara eliminated by Sheamus. Sin Cara eliminates Barrett, so 5-on-4 for Team Usos. And then Jimmy Uso eliminated by Xavier Woods, evens the bout at 4-4. Sin Cara eliminated by Sheamus, 4-3 in favor of Team New Day. Biggie Langston eliminated by Jey Uso. And then Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston take Biggie Langston backstage for supposed medical attention. And then they're both counted out. They're both voluntarily counted out. They leave Sheamus all alone. And then who scores the winning fall? Feed me more. Ryback with a shell shock on Sheamus. The winners and sole survivors of this traditional Survivor Series elimination match at 17 minutes and 50 seconds, Ryback, Jey Uso, and Lucha Dragon Kalisto. I gotta say this was the second best fight of the night. 3.25 stars is my rating for this. This was and when it comes to the 2 traditional matches we got tonight, I thought this one was better. Honest to goodness. 2 spots really stood out to me in this match. And I know Michael Bullock and Didi Woodson are going to agree with me on this. The first spot that stood out, how about when we got to see both Usos and both Luchas, all 4 men in stereo at the same time, all 4 men flying over the top rope and taking out the opposition. That's a standout moment right there. You think that's the standout moment of the fight? No. Oh no. There's more. How about the big guy? 291 pounds of Ryback on the top rope, and he dives off like a freaking cruiserweight. If Michael Fletcher and I were doing the commentary, like Gorilla and Jesse used to in the old days, we would have had so much fun with that spot. I would have said, that's the biggest club sandwich I've ever seen. That's a Thanksgiving club sandwich with all the trimmings, baby. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it was. But it's those 2 spots that stood out to me in this match. And there was also some great action throughout. And a very unlikely team, a very unlikely set of survivors. But what can you do? I mean, it was a very good traditional Survivor Series elimination match. And honestly, I thought it was definitely a smidge. I thought it was far and away better than the other one, although the other one was a good one too. So I'm going to give this a solid 3.25 stars for the effort. Second best fight of the night, as far as I'm concerned. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, team, I guess we could say Team New Day against Team Usos. How'd you like this traditional Survivor Series elimination?
I really like this. I really like this, and I do agree. This was a 3.25 star match, and the second best fight of the night. I mean, what high flying action we got here! I mean, I was really going nuts when the Usos and Sin Cara both flew out of the ring at the same time. I mean, that was just absolutely nuts. And then Ryback, of all people, he goes to the top rope and dives on everyone. I mean, I never would have thought that. I never would have thought we would see Ryback do it, but yeah, he basically flew off the top rope. But then, and then of course, during the match, of course, when Big E got eliminated, of course, the rest of the New Day said, you know what, we're taking him back for quote unquote medical attention. Well, this was basically a way of them walking out on Sheamus, and Sheamus was leaved to fight on his own, and it looked like he was going to take out Kalisto, but nope, that didn't happen. All he did was end up getting shell shocked by Ryback. So basically, so those three are your survivors. So 3.25 stars. So with that being said, Florian, let's move on to our next match.
All right. Moving on to our next match here on our Survivor Series recap. I believe Michael Bullock's going to be leading off this one, and yeah, I'm kind of glad I did the arrangement like I did, because this is one of two matches that Michael Bullock had a major vested interest in. It's not the match yet, but this is the other. But this is another one that Mr. Bullock had a hell of a lot to say on this one. The most emotionally charged and the most personal Divas Championship match that we can remember. It was Charlotte defending the title against the challenger and former two-time champion Paige. The winner of the match in 14 minutes and 10 seconds, and still the WWE Divas Champion. It was Charlotte via the figure eight. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this emotionally charged Divas title match? Did it live up to the hype, or what? 14 minutes and 10 seconds, the time of the fall.
I thought it was a really good Divas match, and I'll give it maybe about I'll probably say about maybe another 3.25 stars. I mean, I thought this was a really good match, and the one thing I really like, I mean, Charlotte really showed an aggressive side tonight. I mean, you didn't see the Charlotte that we normally see out there. I mean, she did so many things different. I mean, she basically took Paige and ran her like from the air and right onto the apron, and there were times. I mean, looked like, I mean, she had the regular figure eight and figure four, but of course at the end of the match she did bridge it into the figure eight, and I mean, you could tell the emotion, the way that it was coming out. I mean, with Paige basically saying, "Come on, Charlotte," and basically mocking and doing the woo chant. I mean, you talk about a way to getting under someone's skin, and that's the way it is right there. And the one thing I am going to applaud WWE with, you know how they usually do the promos like right before the match, hyping the match. I'm glad they took away that the comments Paige made, which obviously left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Which I'm not even going to bother repeating what Paige said. So I'm going to say 3.25, 3.5 stars. I mean, I thought it was a really good match, and we all knew Charlotte was going to go over. So, Florio, I give it to you.
Didi Whitson giving it 3.5 stars. Yeah. I could definitely see that. But I can honestly say it was probably I think we could put this in the top three as far as the fights of the night are concerned, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to say this was the third best fight of the night. Um, I'm leaning towards 3 to 3 1/4 here myself. I mean, but teetering on 3.5. I mean, because but I think 3 to 3 1/4 is better because I mean, even though the action was very good, and even though the match definitely lived up to the hype, I mean, I felt it was a little slow in spots. I kind of felt a little snoozy a little bit at times, just a little bit at times, not a whole lot. There was a time where I kind of felt energy, but I think it was because of the lousy crowd in Atlanta. I mean, I don't know. I think they were sitting on their hands or something, or maybe some of them were half asleep. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't know what
think
it
I
was.
think that's one of the things disappointing about the about this pay-per-view.
Yeah, because of the lousy crowd. I mean, that's why we need to have more IWCers in the crowd, folks. That's all I can say. I mean, we can't get a crowd like Wrestle. We can't have one of those night after WrestleMania Monday Night Raws as always. We can't have that every week, or we can't be one of those IWC capital spots, like Chicago or New York or Philadelphia or Boston, Brooklyn. I mean, boy, but yeah, I think that's the only reason why I think that's the only slight criticism I have of the match. But other than that, I mean, the Charlotte and Paige definitely worked their you know what's off, and they busted their you know what's, and boy howdy was it a sight to see. I mean, it wasn't quite the Diva match of the year or anything. I still think it's that fatal four-way contender match that Paige won to earn the right to face Charlotte on that Monday Night Raw a few weeks back. But this was definitely one of the better Diva fights we've seen in a while. I mean, title matches we've seen in a while. We knew it wasn't going to be anything like Bayley and Sasha Banks from those last two NXT Takeover events. No, both of those being five-star classics and Shakespearean drama laden, but no, not this one, not quite. But I'm glad Charlotte won. But don't worry, Paige is going to get another run with that thing. I guarantee it. Just not right now. So I don't know if the feud's going to continue or if Charlotte's going to move on to a new challenger. But we'll have to wait and see as of right now. So on this, I give it between 3 to 3 1/4 stars, and I would say third best fight of the night, definitely in the top three, no question. So with that said, let's move on to our next match of the night. We had the Sultan of the Selfie, Tyler Breeze, accompanied by the beautiful Summer Rae, going up against the show-off Dolph Ziggler. The winner of the match, in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, it was Tyler Breeze with the beauty shot for the win. So even though the match was fine for what it was, I got to be honest here. I have to say by default, this was the worst fight of the night. I can only give it about 1.5 to 2 stars for the effort. Probably leaning more towards 2 stars for the effort. I mean, it was a fine match for what it was, but it was just way too short for my liking. They obviously wanted to give the main selling points of this event as much time as humanly possible, which I can't blame them for. They were in a tough spot, but I mean, a lot of people were looking forward to this match. I mean, we were all looking forward to this match, but the thing is, it felt more like a TV quality match, in all honesty. But to me, based on the body of work of the other events on this card, I'd have to say by default, this was the worst fight of the night. So that's really not the left. That's really all I can say. So solid 2 stars for the effort. Worst fight of the night, only by default. It wasn't anything bad. It was just way too short for our liking. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, Tyler Breeze, and Dolph Ziggler, 6 minutes and 40 seconds, time of the fall. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'll give it 1.5 to 2 stars. I mean, I thought it was, yeah, I thought the match was fine for what it was, but I do agree it was way too short for my liking. And yeah, I mean, yeah, what an outcome. Tyler Breeze, I mean, wins his first ever WWE pay-per-view appearance, and yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with Tyler Breeze. But then again, you could say the same for Dolph Ziggler. But the thing was, like you said, the match was just too short. So yeah, so now the big question is, of course, what's next for these two? I don't know. I don't know. But 1.5 to 2 stars, and by default, this was the worst fight of the night. So that being said, Florio, let's move on to our next match, and I am definitely going to have a lot of fun with this one.
And I wanted to arrange it so you could lead off on it, my friend, because this was the moment you were waiting for. Not just you, but I think each and every one of us. This was one of the two big moments that we were waiting for when it came to this event here tonight. It was the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. The Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker and Kane, going up against the two members of the Wyatt family. And it was not the two we thought it was. Well,
one we had correct.
we had one correct. Oh boy, we did not have the other one. You had The Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction. They went up against Bray Wyatt, who we had.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was going to be Braun Strowman, but no, it was not Braun Strowman. It was Luke Harper. So it was The Undertaker and Kane, 2-on-2 against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, tag team match. The winners of the match in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, I say to the surprise of no one. It was the Brothers of Destruction via the Tombstone Piledriver on Luke Harper. Michael Bullock, your man did it. No big surprise. The 25th anniversary, he delivered. Question is, did this match deliver, despite it only getting 10 minutes and 20 seconds of time?
Well, I mean, I thought it was a fine tag team match. I mean, it did get about 10 minutes. So to me, I'm gonna say probably I'm gonna go somewhere between 2 to 2.5 stars. I mean, I thought it was a fine tag team match, but what I loved was, I mean, the entrance of The Undertaker. I mean, you had the burning symbols, of course, with a little assist from Kane with the pyro, but that box that was like right on the Titantron, and with all the pictures of The Undertaker from his entire 25-year career, from when he first debuted to what he looks like now. And I mean, and during that entrance, I mean, I had a chill running up and down all the way around me. I mean, there's something about that entrance that always runs chills up and down your spine when he comes out. And this was just another prime example right here. And the brothers, of course, delivered here tonight. And of course, before the match, of course, Eric Rowan basically come in and tried to get a cheap shot, but he got a double choke slam from the brothers. And of course, Braun Strowman tried to interfere in the match. Well, let's just say he got double choke slammed right through the Spanish announce table. I'm like, oh no, it's a good thing. You know what? It's a good thing Fletcher wasn't with us tonight, because if we were talking about this match with him, he'd probably like, Undertaker, Kane, I like you guys, but why did you have to use the Spanish announce table? Uy, Dios mío. But yeah. But I mean, we saw all the vintage moves of The Undertaker, of course, the old school, and then he finishes off with Luke Harper with what he always has done for 25 years, with a Tombstone Piledriver. Him and Kane get the win. And after the match, I mean, I love when Kane stepped out of that ring and let The Undertaker have his moment to get a nice standing ovation for the crowd for 25 years with this company. And I mean, there's nothing but respect for The Undertaker. I mean, as you've seen, of course, not only with tonight, but all throughout during Undertaker Week on the WWE Network. The only question is now, Have we seen the last of The Undertaker in 2015? I'm going to say no because, remember, he's open to working more dates. I wouldn't be surprised that maybe we get a one-on-one match between him and Bray Wyatt, maybe at TLC. Well, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and find out. But I'm going to say 2 to 2.5 stars for the match. And congratulations, Dead Man. 25 years with the company. So I'm going to put on my camera, and I'm going to do this. I tip my cap off to you, Undertaker, my man, for 25 years with the company. So before I toss it up to Anthony Florio, I'm going to ask you this question, Dee Woodson. What goes through your mind when you see that entrance of The Undertaker, when he makes that long walk to the ring, and he just brings the lights on like he's done, and especially tonight with that entrance? I mean, what are your thoughts when you see an entrance like that?
Didi Woodson?
Didi.
I'm thinking.
Oh, all right.
Well, I know Kevin would say it'd be a little slow, but I would think it. You've got, in this case, the Brothers of Destruction, so you got trouble coming out into the ring to take care of business for, who knows how many times that they've done it. I know I really enjoyed this time actually getting to see the two of them together for the first time, and who knows how long, tagging together. So, because I think I've seen almost every Undertaker match since he started, so I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same thing with you, Florio. I mean, I ask you the same. I know we talked about it so many times, but what are your thoughts when you see that awesome entrance of The Undertaker?
Well, I've never seen it in person. You have.
I mean, when you watch it on TV.
When I watch it on TV, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a major show like the Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam, or, of course, the event, an event that he made famous. You could really realistically call him the real Mr. WrestleMania because of his 22-1 record at the event. But when you see that entrance, whether it's on a major pay-per-view, a B pay-per-view, or a TV, or even a TV like Raw or SmackDown, it didn't matter if he was the Dead Man Undertaker or the American Badass Undertaker. Spine chilling. Every time it sends chills, it sends goosebumps, or goosies, like J-Lo would say on American Idol. It would send goosebumps up and down your spine, and that's exactly what I get. I mean, you can't help but be drawn. You can't help but turn the lights out in your room, or your living room, or wherever you're watching the event.
And I'll be the one to admit this to you, Florio. I've done that when I watch it in my room.
Me too.
I think my favorite entrance was the Druids bringing out the casket.
Oh, yes, Didi Woodson. Very good point. I mean, when the Druids would bring out a casket, I can't recall when that was. I mean, I remember it. I just can't remember off the top of my head when that was.
Me neither at the moment, but I know every time I see them doing that, that's when I get my chills, because that's his match.
Yes, the casket match.
Created the casket match.
Indeed, he did.
What about here's another entrance? I mean, what about the one he had at the 1996 Survivor Series?
Oh, when he came down from the ceiling, yes.
Yeah.
When he was when he ascended from the roof, from that iconic roof of Madison Square Garden. I mean, the roof. We've seen the roof so many times in the garden. When we saw him ascend from the heavens for his match against Mankind in 1996, where Paul Bearer was hanging above the ring inside a cage. I mean, Paul Bearer screeching at the top of his voice, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here! I'm not going in the cage." Yeah, that was, yes. But Of course, his WrestleMania entrances. I mean, you can't forget about the Mania entrances.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Or,
Well, here-
or whenever he was ready to compete inside the Hell in a Cell, or even in the Elimination Chamber. I mean,
Well, this is going to show my age. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but when he came out with Stephanie, on his cross thing.
the Unholy Wedding. You
Yeah,
remember?
the Unholy Wedding.
Yeah, Bullock and I have been talking about that a lot lately. Yes.
Definitely remember that one.
As a matter of fact, that segment is actually on demand on the WWE network.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to relive it, definitely you got to check that out.
Definite. And and I'm glad Didi Woodson brought that up because it goes down as one of my favorite segments. Obviously because the love affair I've had with Stephanie ever since she was that that sweet innocent girl. That's when she debuted shortly after WrestleMania.
I can tell you stories that I've heard from a very close friend of Vince McMahon's on Stephanie McMahon when she was a child.
Really?
Oh yeah, when we lived in Oklahoma, there is a wildlife safari in Broken Arrow, and Vince called up a friend that we have out there who brought a little white Bengal tiger out there that Stephanie would play with in the back of the arena in Tulsa when she was little.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and some of the and the thing. Well, here's some of the other things that I liked about. I mean, of course, the Undertaker. Of course, his friendship with Paul Bearer, and of course, his appearances on a segment called The Funeral Parlor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I
My
mean,
favorite one, of course, Bullock. When you talk about The Funeral Parlor, my favorite one was, the one where he comes out of the casket and attacks Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan was having a confrontation with Ric Flair. That's the one that stands out the most to me. And of course, the one with Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts.
That's when the Undertaker had that face turn.
Yeah, when they were building towards their WrestleMania 8 match. I mean, and Didi Woodson also brings up that the Unholy Wedding angle with Stephanie. I mean, not just because of my love affair with Steph, obviously, but also another reason why I enjoyed it so much, Didi Woodson, and you're probably going to say no big surprise when I say this, but it was right here in our neck of the woods. It was right here in the New England
when he
area.
abducted Stephanie McMahon.
Very true.
1999 Backlash was right here in Rhode Island, Providence Civic Center.
Where he said, "Where to, Stephanie?"
And then that screaming of "Dad!" Oh, I mean, it just pierced right through your ears. That scream. Oh God, I remember that like it was yesterday.
And the other thing that's chilling, of course, about the Undertaker, sometimes when he does his segments from a graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the segments with the graveyard. Yes, and
whether it was just by himself or with Paul Bearer.
Yep.
Especially leading up to the 1995 Survivor Series when it was the Dark Side against the Royals, where they would have those segments at the graveyard where we couldn't see his face.
And Taker beat the whole team by himself. Didi Woodson.
I still have to say one of my favorite Taker matches is probably the one that he did with Jeff Hardy, the ladder match.
Oh yes, when he was the American Badass. Yes.
Yeah.
On the Monday Night
Big Evil.
Because Jeff was sitting there saying, "You haven't beat me yet." He comes out and he gives them the respect that they deserved. So yeah.
And that was the start of, and that's when they were starting to slowly plant the seeds toward yet another face turn. Obviously, because that heel turn obviously sold like a lead balloon. Yeah. It had its moments, but.
Yeah, I mean the heel turn had its moments, but so many people loved him when he was a face.
Absolutely. And.
Yeah, I mean I mean the heel thing just really wasn't working out.
That Undertaker Jeff Hardy match, yet another match that was here in the New England area. It was up in Manchester, New Hampshire. Yes.
And that's on the WWE Network.
New Hampshire. Yes.
That episode of Monday Night Raw from 2002.
Just admit, every episode that he's been on has been on the network now.
Just about, yeah. And but so many great moments.
So many great moments with the Undertaker.
So many iconic moments. I mean, not just at Survivor Series, the debut.
Definitely at WrestleMania.
Yeah, whether it was debuting with the $1 Million Team in 1990, again, with New England ties, because it was right here in the New England area, Hartford Civic Center. We'll never forget that. the Unholy Wedding, also in Hartford, the night after Backlash, right here in Providence, in Rhode Island, the Dunk, our big venue, which we both have been to, both of themselves, and you know, whether it's that Survivor Series, winning casket matches or winning his first title from Hulk Hogan in 1991, or christening the coffin casket match against Kamala, or whether he was, or eliminating the entire Royals team by himself. He didn't even need Henry Godwin or Savio Vega or Fatu. He didn't need them. He could have taken them all out by himself, 4 against 1, like the Big Show did in '99 against that Boss Man team. I mean, above, or when he's challenging Kurt Angle and losing because of Kurt Angle's brother Eric, disguising himself as Kurt Angle, or being a part of Team WWF against the Alliance, winner take all, greatest Survivor match ever. Although you can make an argument for last year's Authority and Cena match. I mean, his only real lowlight at Survivor Series was that god-awful buried alive match with Vince McMahon, and I mean god-awful. Trust me, you don't want to watch that. That was brutal to watch. Trust me, you don't want to ever relive that, because that was a disaster. John Heidenreich can tell you, hey, I gave Taker some fits in '04, but not me. And then Randy Orton celebrating with Team SmackDown. Taker comes out of a burning casket.
And of course, the
Hell in a Cell, which Bullock went to. So, yeah.
And of course, the first blood match he had against Mr. Kennedy.
Yep. And then Hell in a Cell with Dave Bautista. And then another casket match with The Big Show. And then a world title triple threat against Jericho and The Big Show in '09. Last time we saw him before tonight. Last time we saw him before tonight. So, another Survivor. He could put yet another Survivor Series moment on his resume. Conquering the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, and Luke Harper. I would have loved to have seen Strowman in this match, because you know how high up I've been on Strowman's work. But we could go on and on about our favorite Undertaker moments. We could do a special tribute video to the Undertaker ourselves if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
And relive our favorite moments. And so Bullock, you said 2 to 2.5 for the fight, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. I'll give it about 2 1/4, 2.5 stars myself. I mean, it was a fine tag match for what it was, but come on, everybody and their mother knew Undertaker was going over in this. I mean, you knew the Brothers of Destruction were going to win. I mean, having Taker and Kane lose this match tonight, that I think would have been even worse than Taker losing at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar. It would have been even worse than that.
And that would have been an injustice.
Major injustice. And Bullock would have gone on the biggest Phenom reign ever. So that's all there is to say about it. So we've relived some great Undertaker moments here. And, happy silver anniversary, Dead Man, still going strong, 50 years old. I mean, he may not be like he was when he was 30, but I tell you what, he can still go. You heard the fans out there.
You still got it.
Pretending you still got it. Like he ever lost it. I mean,
the only time he didn't look like himself was, of course, at last year's WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, the ambulance. The ambulance had to take him away.
And this year, he looks so much better than he did.
Oh, and Didi Woodson gave us another great Taker moment. Taker and Mick Foley inside Hell in a Cell. Yes, of course. You'd be remiss if you didn't mention that. King of the Ring, 1998. The old Igloo in Pittsburgh. Yep, I remember.
So many good moments we could go on throughout the night.
Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, when he would slam the door behind you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's basically like his way of saying, you're trapped in here with me.
Yep. And, of course, if you saw our preview show last night, Michael Bullock showing off several items from his Undertaker collection. Because no one has more Undertaker memorabilia that I know, no more so than Mr. Michael Bullock. And he's got so much. Like I said, someday, if he ever has a house big enough, we need to build him a man cave for all his Undertaker stuff. Trust me. That's how much he's got. That's right, Bullock. You know that's what we got to do. If we ever get you, if you ever have a big enough house, we could get you we can get a whole Undertaker man cave in there for you, and we can really have some fun from that. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So
Well, what do you think, Morgan? Have we seen the last of the Undertaker in 2015?
and it was 25 years ago to the date, to the exact date that he debuted. It was this very day, 1990, as part of that Survivor Series in Hartford, Connecticut. So yeah, great way to honor him. And we saw those various images of the Undertaker, like that little slideshow, if you will, on the Titantron there. So a bone-chilling, spine-chilling entrance, as always, by the Undertaker. And I would always have Fletcher say, "Let there be light," when he would bring up the lights. So that's exactly what he would do. So on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, we definitely want to say a very special thanks and congratulations to the Undertaker. 25 years and still going strong. Here's to you, dead man. That's all there is to say about that. So, and I know if Michael Bullock could, he would do the infamous Undertaker pose, the down on one knee salute. I mean, I know nobody does that better than what Bullock does. I mean, I know you can do it, man. I know you can. Just like Fletcher can do his Randy Orton pose. Yep, there it is. I told you he could do it. There you go. That's my man right there. Nobody can do that better than him. Not even me. Not even Dee Woodson. Not even Fletcher or Derek. That man can do it. Nobody can do it better than Mr. Bullock. So that's it. So 2.25 to 2.5 stars, but 25 years and still going strong. A very special thanks and appreciation for the Undertaker and all the great moments he's given us for the last 25 years, and who knows how long he still has left. But oh wow! So
But have we seen the last of him in 2015?
maybe not. He's open to working more dates, like Bullock said. So could we see him in 3 weeks on December 13th at TLC? Yet again, with New England ties, because it's going to be at the TD Garden in Boston. So another treat for us New Englanders. So, all right. Main event time, my friends. This is the one we've all been waiting for. The finals of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. The master of the Superman Punch, Roman Reigns, versus the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. The winner of the match, in 9 minutes and 5 seconds, and the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. But wait, there's more. Confetti flies around the arena, the pyro plays. We get Triple H. Triple H comes out, the Authority, blah, blah, blah. And then Roman Reigns spears Triple H. And then who comes up from right behind him? Briefcase in tow, Mr. Money in the Bank, Sheamus. Sheamus cashes in, Money in the Bank. And in just 35 seconds, Sheamus becomes the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. What? Oh, my. I honestly cannot believe that this match with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, 9 minutes? That's it? We only get 9 minutes and 5 seconds for a match of this magnitude? No. I'm sorry, but 2 stars is the best I can give it. Very disappointing. I can honestly say it was one of the most disappointing matches of the year, if not the most disappointing match of the year. This is the finals. This is the tournament. You have plenty of time. I think when Roman got the win, I think it was right around 10:37 or 10:38 our time. Good grief. But the minute, but then there was a small part of me that was thinking, Sheamus is cashing in. I'm like, where are you, Sheamus? I know you're cashing in. I can sense it. I can feel it. I thought Triple H was going to do the honors, like Vince McMahon did for Edge when Edge cashed in on John Cena in 2006 at New Year's Revolution. No. Triple H just said all he wanted Roman to do was shake his hand. He was like, shake my hand, Roman. Roman's like, Up yours. Boom, spears him. And then there's Sheamus. Bro kick. Roman kicks out. But then he gets another bro kick, and this time Sheamus gets the win, and now Sheamus is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion once again. It was basically SummerSlam 2013 all over again. Only difference is Triple H didn't have to do a pedigree this time. We all remember SummerSlam 2013. Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan finally gets his moment in the sun. He beats John Cena, wins the WWE Championship in a 5-star classic match, and to me, the greatest match in SummerSlam history. Moments later, about 4 or 5 minutes later, there's Randy Orton. Randy Orton cashes in, thanks to a Triple H pedigree on Daniel Bryan, thus the birth of the Authority. And then Randy Orton wins the belt in just seconds. And then that's how that whole thing started. Of course, Bryan eventually gets his moment at WrestleMania 30. And then, obviously, here tonight, we think Roman finally gets his moment, but then there's Sheamus, and Triple H didn't have to do a thing. It was set up perfectly. The match is only 2 stars. I'm not even going to bother with the cash-in match. I mean, those are usually NAs anyway, with the exception, of course, of that Cena-Sandow match from the night after 2013's Hell in a Cell in Orlando. Of course, you have to NA the Money in the Bank match, but Sheamus winning, I mean, I know there were a select few out there who kind of had this feeling. I kind of had a feeling a little bit myself, but I wasn't really sure. We all thought it was going to be Roman who was going to pull the wool over all our eyes, just like his cousin The Rock did at this very event in '98, the Deadly Game, when he aligned with Vince and Shane McMahon to form the corporation, the corporate champion. The angle went down. We knew it was going to happen, but it just wasn't with Roman Reigns. It's now Sheamus. And it's well documented how close Triple H and Sheamus are in real life. I mean, there's a real-life bond with those two. I mean, they're very close. I mean, we all know, Sheamus is very high on Triple H's totem pole, if you will. Very high. And now, I guess we could say Sheamus is now not only the new face of the WWE, but Sheamus is now also, we have to say now, the newest member of the Authority. What's going to happen now that Sheamus has aligned with the Authority? It's been long rumored. Now that rumor has finally come to fruition, so unreal. But I still cannot believe that a match of this magnitude, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, only gets 9 minutes. The main event of a major pay-per-view. I can honestly say it goes down as one of the worst main events in Survivor Series history. I'm not going to say it was the worst. That's still Randy Orton and The Big Show from 2 years ago. You know how god-awful that one was. It wasn't anything bad. It was just way too short. That thing should have gotten at least 20 minutes. But 9? No. And you know where I'm going with this. Pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable, reprehensible, and borderline irresponsible. Not just borderline irresponsible, but borderline lazy. And I do mean lazy booking the WWE on this one.
And you know what I have to say? They go Birds!
Or as you would always say, Bullock, in the immortal words of Ren and Snippy, you
Yes!
Done, finished, period, end of quotation, end of statement, 2 stars, most disappointing match in 2015, far and away. Michael Bullock, I don't know how you can follow this.
I don't even know how the heck can I follow that up, but all I can say is, damn, Florio, tell us how you really feel, man. Whew. Man, oh man. He just went on a ridiculously over rant on that one, so yeah, so I do agree. 2 stars is my rating. A disappointing main event, but we do get a surprising outcome. I mean, we knew Roman Reigns was going to win it. But, like, getting back to this, with a match like this, I thought we were going to get, like, 20 to 25 minutes, but only, like, 9 minutes? Very disappointing, lazy booking there, but I mean, Roman Reigns wins it. Triple H comes out. He wants to shake the hand of Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns spears Triple H, and then Sheamus comes out of nowhere, Brogue kicks him, cashes in the Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns kicks out of the first one, but he gets nailed with a second Brogue kick, and Sheamus is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. A crazy ending to Survivor Series, but thoroughly a very disappointing main event, and the most disappointing match of 2015, if I'm going to be quite honest. I do agree with you on that, Florio. So, yeah, so what happens next now? It's obvious to me, I think we're going to get Roman Reigns and Sheamus for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at TLC. So we'll just wait and see what happens, especially come tomorrow night when we talk about the fallout from Survivor Series. So 2 stars is my rating for the match. Florio, I give it to you because it's time for overall thoughts on the show.
It's time for overall thoughts, indeed. And Michael Bullock, I'm going to start it with you, and then Bullock, you start it off, and then I'll take it, and then we'll have Dee Dee Woodson close it out with her thoughts. So, because I really want to get her thoughts on this event tonight. So, Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts on this 29th annual edition of the Survivor Series?
I thought it was an okay. I thought it was an okay pay-per-view, an okay Survivor Series, but I'm going to say somewhere between 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my thoughts on this Survivor Series. I mean, I would have gone higher, but the only reason why I'm not going higher than 8, the most disappointing main event, or should I say the most disappointing match of 2015, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, a match that should have gotten more time, only ends in 9 minutes. If it had gone that full 20 minutes, I would have given the show a much higher rating. But everything else, I mean, I thought it was fine. I mean, of course, the fight of the night being Roman Reigns and Alberto Del Rio. I mean, you had a solid Divas Championship match, a real solid traditional Survivor Series elimination match. The other semifinal match with Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. And, of course, the tag team match with the Brothers of Destruction was fine, but it's just that the most disappointing match of 2015 really killed it. So 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my thoughts on it. So, Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah, I think you might be a little bit reaching there, Bullock, on that one.
Although I'm leaning more towards 7.5.
Yeah, I think more like 7 to 7.5 out of 10 is the correct rating for this event. I mean,
yeah, I'm leaning more towards the 7.5.
Yeah, but it was still a solid show. There were just some disappointments.
Especially the main event.
I mean, first of all, that crowd was as lackluster, that crowd was as out of it as you can get.
That's the other thing I gotta call out that crowd in Atlanta.
Yeah, that crowd was.
I mean, you
damn near half asleep.
I mean, you had some good matches here, and
yeah,
you basically had your, I don't know, like your.
They were sitting on their
your
hands.
lap or your hands on their knees the whole time.
They were sitting on their hands.
We don't give two shits about this. I mean, why are we even here at all?
Yeah, I mean, why'd you even buy a ticket? I mean, I'm not trying to rub Atlanta fans the wrong way. I mean, I think some of them might have. I think a good majority of them might have been emotionally drained from their Falcons losing at home today to the Indianapolis Colts. That might have had something to do with it. I mean, 4 in a row now that the Falcons have. I mean, well, not quite 4 in a row, but yeah, their Falcons are quietly fading into the sunset yet again. And it will show. it will show on our next NFL Friday Power Rankings. You can believe that. But that's for Friday night. But oy. I mean, it was still a good event. I mean, the matches were still good. I mean, top 3 fights of the night. You have to say fight of the night was Roman Reigns and Alberto Del Rio. The traditional Survivor Series elimination match, Team Usos against Team New Day, if you will. And then rounding out the top 3 would have to be Charlotte and Paige for the Diva belt. Ambrose and Owens had a solid match. That could have been better, but it was fine for what it was. The tag team match with Taker and Kane against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. That could have been, it was fine, but that could have been better. But you knew that wasn't going to be anything special anyway. And then, of course, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, that final match. I mean, that thing could have been so special. That had the potential to be something really special. I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was going to be a 5-star classic or anything. You knew it wasn't going to be, but I'm still scratching my head. A match of that magnitude on one of the 4 biggest stages of the year, the Survivor Series, my event. I'm not going to go and say I'm Mr. Survivor Series or anything, but no. Survivor Series is one of my favorite main events and one of my favorite pay-per-view events. I was trying to say. And watching back all the previous Survivor Series events, except for only a couple, that event has produced so many damn good WWE Championship matches. From the near 5-star classic Brett and HBK had in '92, that was 4.5 stars, easy right there. Another near 5-star classic, Bret Hart and Bob Backlund. The submission match in '94. That was another 4.5, maybe 4 3/4. I mean, how about Brett and Diesel in '95? That's 4 1/4 to 4.5 right there. That was another damn good title match. And then a 3.5 to 4 with Psycho Sid and Shawn Michaels in '96 in the Garden. The Rock and Mankind, the finals in '98, the Deadly Game. That's a solid 3.5 right there. Taker and Angle, probably good 3 to 3 1/4. And then 2004, Booker and JBL, that was a fine one. 05, Cena and Angle, that was solid. 07 with Randy Orton and Shawn Michaels, that was a fantastic match. 3.5 to 4 on that one. And then 08, that was a disaster because you had Kozlov in there who had no business being in that match, but just my opinion. The 09 match with Cena and Shawn and Triple H, that triple threat, that was solid 4 to 4 1/4 there. 2010, that was fine, but it was a little disappointing considering all the hype going into that one about Cena being free or fired. Punk and Del Rio was the last good title match we saw. 2011, 4 stars, easy. And then 2012, Punk, Ryback, Cena, 2.5 to 3 there, and then Orton and the Big Show, blah, you already know my story on that. Awful. And then this. It's still not the worst main event in Survivor Series history, no. To me, when it comes to the main event of the Survivor Series, there were ones that were worse than that. There have been ones worse than that. Trust me, there have been. The grand finale match of Survival in '90, that's one. The Legion of Doom and the Boss Man against IRS and the Natural Disasters. Yeah, that was terrible. The Foreign Fanatics against the All-Americans. Good, but not overly great. The Montreal Fiasco. '99. Oh, if Stone Cold wasn't hurt in '99. Austin, Triple H, and The Rock, that would have been the greatest main event all time, right there, bar none. Because you had the 3 biggest names in the business at that time. Stone Cold doesn't have another neck blow up. If his neck doesn't blow up, you would have had Austin, Triple H, and The Rock for the title, Vince as the referee. That could have been epic, right? Epic. But then you had the Big Show. Yeah, Big Show gets his moment. I was happy for him, but think of you know how Derek and I do our what if files? What if Stone Cold doesn't get hurt? What if Stone Cold, Triple H, and The Rock fought in '99 at the Joe in Detroit? What if? Wouldn't that have gone down as maybe the greatest main event of all time in Survivor Series history? Possible. But the greatest one, the 2 greatest in my opinion, were last year, Team Cena and The Authority, And, of course, winner take all. No one's going to touch those. And then, of course, the Chamber in 2002. Those are your top three easy right there. This main event tonight with Roman and Ambrose. To Mr. McMagma and all you suits out there in Stamford, Connecticut, you had a chance to do something really special with that match. Two guys who are capable of going, who are super over. Well, Dean Ambrose was super over with the fans. Roman Reigns not so much. I get it, but you could have done something really special. But you're like, we don't give two craps about this. Let's only give them 9 minutes. Blasphemy. With a capital B. Simple as that. And then, of course, worst fight of the night, you have to give it by default to Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze, even though it wasn't anything remotely bad about it. It was just way too short. So 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Good event. Not the greatest Survivor Series, but it was definitely a passable event. That's all I can say about it. So, Didi Woodson, I want to get your quick thoughts before we wrap it up here. So, your thoughts on this 29th annual Survivor Series from the ATL tonight?
I don't know who is behind the main event either, but they were certainly very stupid to make it only 9 minutes long. You know, you could have had so much more potential between the two guys, seeing as they were best friends. They knew each other better than anything in the world when it came to each other's holds and everything. I mean, that could have really gone a lot longer. And who needs 15 to 30 minutes to have Triple H come out and Sheamus come out and have Sheamus pin him within however many minutes you said? I mean, it's stupid. As far as the pay-per-view in a whole, I would probably lean closer to the 7 than even the 7.5. And I do definitely agree on the Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler match. That one was not very good. As far as the Divas are concerned, I thought that was, I rated that one higher because of the fact that the girls did go out there and they showed that they do know how to wrestle compared to the cookie cutter things they were bringing in for a long time there that didn't know diddly squat about how to do anything in the ring.
And they busted their ass off.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Paige, we all know she grew up in the ring. She had that TV show with her family where they showed them busting their butts, training and everything. And we all know about Charlotte and her family history and her busting her butt, getting to where she is. And I definitely say Charlotte deserves this run with the title. And I am very very pleased with how the Divas division is starting to go now compared to what it used to be. It's definitely turned around. I would like to see some other girls pop in, though, from some of the other organizations that I think could also help boost it a little bit more. But in all in all, I would say it was probably about closer to a 7 for the whole show in a whole. And it was an okay show, yeah. I would definitely agree with that. And as far as what you said, Anthony, about the reason the crowd wasn't in it, I think you nailed it. The football team screwed it up for everybody.
Yeah, the Falcons. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if those fans not only went to the Georgia Dome for that game against the Indianapolis Colts today, but also went to Survivor Series as well, hoping for, one of those best day ever situations. But, well, you didn't get your best day ever. You got a average and mediocre day. That's all you can say about that, because your Falcons lose, and then, the Hawks are, kumsi kumsa this year. So, but before I wrap it up, I don't know if you saw our preview show last night, Didi Woodson, but I made a statement last night. I want to see. I just want a simple yes or no answer if you agree with me on this. Next year is going to mark the 30th anniversary of this event.
Oh yeah.
And everybody knows what brought this event to the dance, the traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup. Don't you think in honor, to honor the event for 30 years, don't you think they should at least consider having every match on the card a traditional Survivor Series elimination match to put all the belts on the back burner for just one night?
Heck, I'd even like to see a Divas Survivor Series match.
Right?
Absolutely.
I would too. Yeah.
And one other thing that Kevin and I have been talking about, TNA had a ladies tag team champions. Why can't WWE consider that?
A Divas tag team title, yes. I'm glad there have been some dirt sheets about that.
I mean, that they've got enough people for it. I mean, you already got the little groups here now with,
The Bellas.
The Team
Bad.
Bad, and everybody. I mean,
Naomi and Sasha.
you've got enough here that you could actually do that with.
Yeah, Charlotte and Becky Lynch, maybe.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. And who knows? I mean, I think within the next year, we're going to get some more call-ups from NXT. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, and I want to bring it up real quick. Michael Bullock. We talked about it. We talked about it on our, on our afternoon drives that we've been having lately. They actually taped the Bayley and Eva Marie title match. And good news, Bayley went over, so we don't have to endure Eva as the NXT champion. So
thank goodness.
Right? But here's the thing, though. Guess who's going to be next for Bayley after she gets through Eva?
Ooh.
Nia Jax.
Whoa.
Oh. I think
I've heard that.
I hate to say this. Bayley's losing that title.
Oh yeah, once they put her in Nia Jax, I wouldn't be surprised if they put that on the UK show on December 16th.
Yeah, and then I think after that, I think that's when Bayley's gonna get the call up to the main roster.
And then she can make that Divas division even better than what it is right now. So I just wanted to get that out there. So next year, I know they're not watching. They obviously don't watch our show, and that's fine, whatever. But I think the message has been sent on behalf of all three of us. I'm going to spearhead this. Next year, 30th anniversary of Survivor Series, I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's in Dee Woodson's neck of the woods. I don't care if it's in our neck of the woods. Or if it's out of the country altogether in Canada or wherever. Next year, the 30th anniversary of Survivor Series, book every match as a traditional Survivor Series match and put the belts on the back burner for just one night. You can live without the belts for one night. Have one with the tag teams, have one with the Intercontinental guys, have one with the US guys, have one with the main event guys, and of course, have one with the Divas. That's all there is to it. You can get, and then all those matches can get at least a good 30 to 40 minutes. You do that, we're looking at it. We're looking at one of the all-time great events right there. So that's it for that. So that puts the bow on this edition of this special edition of the Wrestling Forum, as we have just recapped the 29th annual Survivor Series. It's a shame that Michael Fletcher couldn't be with us tonight, but he has work commitments, so he was unable to join us tonight. So before I wrap it up, our 5 straight nights of content concludes tomorrow night with the Wrestling Forum. Here's the thing. We're not going to be here on this channel, no. We're going to be on Michael Fletcher's channel, because I had a chat with Michael Fletcher earlier. He called me up. He told me that he was going to be unable to be on the show, and he wanted to make sure that, he's like, hey, I do at least one hosting gig per month. And he says, since I can't do the show tonight, he's like, would you be willing to let me host the Wrestling Forum tomorrow night? And I was like, definitely. So tomorrow night, just for tomorrow night only, the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, will be hosting the Wrestling Forum in my place, but I will be here. I will be here. So will Michael Bullock. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Dee Woodson back. That would be great. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But remember, Brace Fan 95 tomorrow night, immediately following Monday Night Raw from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, where we will sort out all the fallout, and I mean all of the fallout from the Survivor Series, and start the road to tables, ladders, and chairs in just 3 short weeks from our neck of the woods, the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. So with all that said, for the Phenom Michael Bullock and the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, I am ridiculous, and in spirit, of course, the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher and the Hardcore Pipe, I'm Derek Ferreira. This is Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up, talk to you later, yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. Have a great Monday. And until tomorrow night for the Wrestling Forum on Fletcher's channel, Braves Fan 95, you've been watching the WWE Survivor Series 2015 recap right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Florio, so long.